Hi everyone, so let's see what's up for your subatomic particles model application. First thing you're going to do is write your name, your class period, and the date on the back of a blank sheet of white paper. Then using the front side only, you're going to create a model demonstrating your understanding about subatomic particles. This model is going to include the atomic structure of an element of your choice, as well as your element's periodic table of elements entry, and 3 interesting facts about your element. So you're going to get the opportunity to look a little bit more into what that element does. So just to make it easier on you, make sure you choose an element from the first 2 rows of the periodic table of elements. Your element's atomic structure should include the appropriate number of protons, neutrons, and electrons in their corresponding locations. Its periodic table of elements entry should include atomic number, mass number, elemental name, elemental symbol, and charge in their corresponding locations. And when you do your research, use this link to do your research because we're all about credible sources here. I don't want to see anything from Google or Wikipedia or any junk like that. And of course, use full sentences in your own words to write those 3 interesting facts about your element. And again, we're going to use colors and labels to enhance our models. Include key vocab we discussed in this lesson, and use the rubric as a guideline to create our models. You can use your notes and your table partners, but your models should not look identical to your neighbors or anyone else's for that matter. And I'm going to collect these at the end of the period. So what are you going to be graded on? First, you got to make sure your model is drawn accurately and clearly and includes the appropriate number of protons, neutrons, and electrons in their correct locations. Label your model with a title and make sure all the relevant components are labeled. And do your research using full sentences, including 3 compelling facts about your element. So that carbon is black doesn't really interest me. I want interesting stuff about your element. And make sure your color enhances your model. What's one of these going to look like? Well, we'll give you an example using hydrogen, which means I don't want to see anybody use hydrogen since I'm doing it right here. And the periodic elements table entry for hydrogen is going to look something like this. It's going to have the square with the elemental symbol for hydrogen, which is H, in the middle, and the mass number for hydrogen, which I'm going to say for this one is 2 in the top left. Then the atomic number for hydrogen, I know since it's characteristic of the element, is 1, so I have 1 proton in hydrogen, and the charge is for atoms that are neutral is going to be 0. So what does my element of hydrogen look like? I'm going to have 1 proton, 1 neutron, and then 1 electron orbiting the proton and neutron in the nucleus. And how do I know those things are protons and neutrons and electrons instead of just random squiggles and dots? Because I'm going to label it by saying the red thing's a proton, white thing's a neutron, and blue thing is an electron. So this is a very patriotic atom going on here. And the last part of my model is my 3 interesting facts from that link that you saw. And for one of my interesting facts, I wrote that hydrogen is a gas at room temperature. So it's written in full sentences. It's pretty interesting. Uses stuff from what we learned. And after this, I would write 2 more, and I'd be all finished. Make sure you check the rubric and know that all of the relevant components are included, and hand this in at the end of the period today.